Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Get Wealthy Wednesday. My name is Fred Brandon. It's good to see everyone again with this again this week. Our focus, if this is your first time here, our focus is to increase the knowledge of building generational wealth by speaking with industry leaders within our community. Tonight's episode is brought to you thanks to More Owned Businesses. Make sure you go to moreownedbusinesses.com where they promote products and services by Black-owned businesses, making it easier to build within our community. All right, so today we have the pleasure of talking with Darien Lewis, and let me bring her in right quick.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing, Darien?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, Brandon?
I'm doing great. All right. So, like I said, what we want to do is we want to, if you are not following her right now on Instagram, today is what you really want to do that now. You definitely want to go and follow her at Lewis Premier Stocks on IG. All right. Let me put that up on the screen for everyone. Make sure you go follow her. All right. And she is going to give us some information about stocks and stock trading. So, without any further delay, tell us a little bit more about you. What you do. I've seen you on Instagram. You be dropping those gems like every other day, every day. What to buy, when to buy, all of that good stuff. So, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. So for everyone who doesn't know who I am, my name is Darien Lewis. I reside currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been investing and researching in the stock market for about 5 years now. I have a background with working at Fortune 500 companies such as Wells Fargo. I graduated from North Carolina Central University back in 2013, which is in Durham, North Carolina. Shortly after graduating, I just went into the work field. My degree is in mass communications, but I ended up working in Walmart in between, working at the bank in between as well. Things that have nothing to do with necessarily my degree. I learned that in those roles that outside of what we were taught in school and also what we were taught on jobs, no one can empower ourselves but ourselves. We only people can empower ourselves as ourselves. So I to pretty much go into like finding out about financial security because I realized shortly after having a degree back in 2013 and when I went into the work field that a degree is not the only way to secure your future. You got to put your money in different places. So I started researching to see what do people you do to get wealthy. Real estate is definitely one of the main things, and also stocks. And then also now you have other markets such as cryptocurrency, Forex as well that people get into. So that was my main thing. And along the way of me researching and stock investing myself, I was teaching people around me. So one of my family members told me, hey, you're really good at this. You're really good at breaking down information. You know what you're talking about. So you might need to go into business with helping others because people in our community need that awareness. You just need somebody like me or anybody that's a stock coach to break the information down to you in a simplified way. And once you get those tools and that information, you can empower yourself and you can empower others around you. It's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5, but we got to learn how to put our money in different places outside of that 9-to-5.
Right. I totally agree with you, and it's very imperative that each one teach one type of situation. Because a lot of things, we see this every day, especially in our community. Sometimes, as soon as you get on, or as soon as you learn something, then you kind of like take the information and run with it. And sometimes you don't necessarily pay it forward or give back. We see it a lot. Whether someone is done something great and they have made it out of the hood or made it out of their spot, right? And then when it comes to showing people how they did it, they pretty much try to hoard that information instead of giving it back to you. And that's great. what you're doing and what you've done already. Just being able to bring this knowledge to a lot of people. I know that you have a lot of like coaching sessions and all that good stuff, but I know we'll get into that as well. But how long have you really been doing it? I know that you said you've been doing it, after school and everything. So
Yeah. So basically in college, even if you get a business degree, they don't really teach you how to run a business. They're just
right,
educational input. So I went to for mass communications, which is dealing with like radio, television, all that good stuff.
yeah,
So out of school, I started to realize like, hey, it's not, these jobs are not open field for like I thought it was going to be. The
right,
school is nothing wrong with going to school, but school is a business decision. And in our community, they don't teach us to make a business decision with going to school. We just be so ready to go get a degree because we think that's a get out of jail free card with life and everything. So my main thing was outside of going to school, I need to learn things that can empower me, because I ended up realizing at the end of the day that my degree was not like I said, get out of jail free card. So I had to work jobs like Walmart, working at the bank. And then I realized outside of this, I need to learn other things, because if this job goes left, I need to have my money into different places. So I've been investing now for about going in over 5 years, researching, investing. And like I said, within my short time in investing, I was able to put a down payment on my home.
that's awesome. And like I said, man, it's as you said earlier, real estate is the other one of the key points and key investments to get into, other than
Right.
stocks. Now,
Right.
one of the good things about stocks is there are a lot of different methods to get into stocks now.
Right.
Or it used to just kind of be, you find your broker or whatever and do all these different things. But now it seems that there are a lot more avenues, even on your phone, right?
Right, exactly. And that's the thing with stock market investing, which is the good thing. It's so many ways you can make money in the stock market. You just don't have to buy and hold. You can
Right,
futures, you can do options. They're a little bit more advanced, but once you get those fundamentals down with somebody like me, a stock coach, because I teach basically buying and holding. Once you know how to buy and hold, you can move into different avenues. And like
right,
you said, I was able to use one market to go into another market, the real estate market. I was able
right,
to stock market to be a homeowner. You see, so it's the thing about ownership. I was able to own assets in the stock market to end up owning a home. And see,
right,
a lot of people, they think, hey, I can't own anything without a credit score and all that stuff like that. You can own stocks without
right,
that. Nothing to do with your credit. Your credit is imperative too when going into real estate and the house and stuff like that. But
right,
you can do an entry point into the stock, because it's low barrier to get into the stock market. You start small, then you build up, and then that can segue you into different things. So
right,
that's the biggest thing, because I wanted to probably jump into real estate first when I was still looking at things outside of my degree to go into, because I'm
right,
on ownership and I always been kind of business in tune. I just didn't have no one to guide me in that direction, because I was just told, hey, get a degree, everything will be good. It's not wrong.
right.
You gotta think outside of that, too.
Yeah, exactly. And you said, there's a lot of people that go to school for business, right?
Yeah.
But, they don't actually put you in the mindset that either own a business, run a business,
Mm-mm.
a lot of different things with that. But everybody gets this business management degree, right? So,
Exactly.
what's that?
Oh yeah, I say exactly. Yeah, I was.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I thought I cut
Yeah.
you off. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
Um,
you're
so,
fine.
so amongst some of the things that you get into, I know you mentioned futures and options and some of those different things. So, what other offers do you or services do you offer with your coaching, stock market coaching?
Okay. My main thing is right now, I'm going to, of course, extend everything as time goes on. But right now, focusing on reeling people in with the concept of, because a lot of times they're just intimidated by the word stock market, because
Right,
we weren't put in our face. Like you said, we have people in our community that might know the information, but they hoard it and they don't put it out to everybody on the mainstream. I think Dr. Boyce Watkins was really, honestly, from what I seen, was like one of the first mainstream people to talk about you could be
right,
in the stock market. You could
exactly,
the real estate, you could opening the minds up. So my biggest thing is getting down to the nitty gritty, going into the roots of the stock market, so buying and holding. That's what I teach. I started off with you learn about stocks, then you move on to the next investment vehicle, ETFs. ETFs are basically exchange traded funds. They're basically like, hey, somebody like, hey, I want to invest in Amazon. Everybody know Amazon is almost at $2,000 right now a share.
Right.
You might not have $2,000 to shell off into one share. And me personally, if you just only got $2,000 to invest, I wouldn't put my money solely on
One
I
stock.
wouldn't put my bet on one company. So what I would say is with that 2000, spread your money between individual stocks that are good or get you an ETF. An ETF is basically a bundle of course, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with a bundle of stocks and bonds in one setting. And basically what they do is they track the performance of all those stocks and bonds. And if those stocks and bonds are doing well, the ETF will move up in price too. ETFs are very good because they're very cost efficient. You got ETFs that cost like under $50 and they hold very good companies such as Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Tesla,
Right.
all your big names, Netflix. You can find ETFs that are like very cost efficient. And then next I talk about mutual funds. Mutual funds, they're very good for, like I tell a lot of people, they're good for if you got children and you want to save up for them for college or for anything down the line when they get older. A mutual fund is out of sight, out of mind. That's like our 401ks at work. You
Right.
into it and it's exposure to the stock market and it just builds over time. You ain't got to even look at it. Once you buy into the mutual fund, you set an automatic payment up and you just buy into it. And that's exposure to the stock market without even looking at it or have to really worried about it. Because the stock market, we know historically goes up over years. It goes up over time. It's never at a point where the stock market was in negative in returns for all time. For all time, it's always been going up. So
Right.
my biggest thing, like,
No,
go ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, that's my biggest thing, starting with the introductory level of information to put people in the mindset from learning ownership and knowing that once you know these tools and you get this information, you, like I said, you don't only just empower yourself, you empower others around you.
Right. And you know what? The one thing I gather from a lot of people who
Mhm.
are starting to get into stocks or interested in getting into stocks
Mhm.
are a little fearful now because of everything that's going on right now. They're saying, "Oh, well, the stock market is going to crash. It drops so many points." How do you talk against it? Because there's a lot. The one thing about business is
Mhm.
some businesses are doing poorly because of the virus, but then other
Right.
ones are shooting up. And a lot of people are not really understanding that just because one is faltering or some of the things are going down now, that you should possibly be looking at a different stock or a different avenue that's they're actually benefiting from this virus situation.
Exactly. What I talk about with this is because the stock market crashed basically in February this year. It went, well, no, March of this year, because most companies hit their all-time highs in February. And then
Right.
March, like you said, the COVID situation really like rattled everything. So the stock market, the Dow lost like over
Yeah. Okay. It was.
all gains for up to, I think, up to like 2016. So it
Right.
was 2016 as far as index tracking. So
Right.
with people who are afraid to invest, my biggest thing is it's been so many people that survived crashes before. I mean, what I mean by that, companies that survived crashes before that are still here. And all they did after the stock market crash was go back up in value and probably
Right.
see that value than where they were before. If these companies are not going bankrupt during this coronavirus, there's nothing to be worried about.
Right.
When you think long term, you're not thinking about what happens in the next 2 months. You're thinking 5 years down the line, or at least a year down the line. You're not worried
Exactly.
about a couple few bad months with investing into the stock market. The stock market is very volatile right now because everything with the COVID situation is not necessarily handled. So this is a great opportunity to actually buy good companies for a very low price, because we see the airlines. I tell people the airlines and me and
Right.
the airlines are very discounted. End of the day, like I said, Trump and them are not going to let the airlines go out completely, because everybody can't jump on the Air Force One like Trump. Most
Right.
everybody got to take commercial flights.
Exactly.
Flights are a business. They're for travel, they're for leisure, and they're also for business. So they're not going to let a major industry sector like that go to waste.
Right.
Different for things that people don't need necessarily. Like you hear about Macy's and Nordstrom and all that stuff like that potentially going into bankruptcy. That's different because people don't need necessarily their brands that they have.
Right.
So they're going to suffer more. And then they're not a small business, not considered a small business. So they don't get any bailout money or anything.
Exactly.
Travel industry, so they don't get any bailout money. So
Right.
if you have that mind for people that want to, and then so many people that when the stock market is going down, people still are making money. That's what people fail to realize. It's not
Exactly.
that the sky is falling and everybody needs, a lot of people sell off, but it's people still making money while the stock market is literally crashing at the same time. So
Right.
it's a good time to get companies at a very good companies at a very low price. And if
Right.
it's that boat, you're going to kick yourself. Like themselves when certain companies were very low and crashed back in 2008 and the stock market crashed. And then by 2013, 2014, they could potentially be, their net worth has tripled or quadrupled because they brought good companies at a low price. So
Right.
let's say, look at the opportunity as a entry point. If you want to buy Facebook and Facebook was too high, you had a chance between March when it crashed and now.
Right.
So that's just how I look at it.
So I got so many different ways I can go with that because you mentioned Facebook and the price being so high. But do you? So there are a lot of apps that's out there
Right.
that also allow you to probably get in fractional shares.
Mm.
Are you a big advocate of that, or are you more of the ETFs type of situation where you're getting a big collective bundle as opposed to just saying, "Hey, look, I want a piece of Facebook. Here's $20." Sort of, sort
Yeah.
of, or whatever, Or I guess even with the Cash App, right? I think you can go down to $1 or something like
Fractional shares
that.
too. Yeah. My biggest thing with fractional shares, I tell anybody with fractional shares, if you're kind of like not ready to learn that stock market information just yet, you kind of just want to get out there, then yeah, invest in the fractional shares because it gives you some type of exposure. And it's almost like a high yield savings account, but it's with risk.
Right.
Yielding more than what you would probably put in because you're dealing with the stock. So you probably end up yielding more than what you would do if you put that $20 in your savings account. But it's still not ownership. That's how I look at it. If you want an asset, you can't go fractional. You have to go whole. You got to go whole at owning an ETF, some shares in a mutual fund or a stock. So I say fractional shares, I don't like disregard them. I just think they're only for short-term use. Don't think that you're going to be seeing crazy returns with just fractional shares.
Right. Exactly.
If you want to own something and really have an asset to pass down to your kids or anybody else in your family or spouse, you need to own whole shares of companies, not fractional. But fractional is okay if you just want to kind of just get out there and get your feet wet and just kind of see how you just want to see how it look a little bit,
Right.
maybe to a certain degree. But I don't disregard it, but it's not for long term.
Right. And that was another point that you made earlier. A lot of us sometimes we don't see the long term, right?
Right.
We're last week I spoke about forex, and this week I'm talking about stocks, and in both
Mhm.
situations, you get a lot of people who are not looking long term enough. They're not looking at long term investments. So they're not being patient with the things that they're investing.
Right.
When as you mentioned, when we're putting in these 401ks and 403bs and all of these different accounts for long term, it's kind of set it and forget it. We're not even thinking about what's going on in the stock market or in these mutual funds for 40 years.
Right.
But when there's something that's right in front of our face, whether it's crypto or having Robinhood or something on our phone where we can see it every 5 seconds,
Right.
sometimes we hurry up to push that ejector seat button and just say, "Hey, I'm out. It failed 10% yesterday. I'm out. I'm losing my money," and not
Right.
really thinking how to invest long term. I think that's one of the key things that we really need to learn is about longevity.
Right. I agree because we got to stop thinking about, because some people, their minds, only thing they think about is they plan for maybe the next day. They don't even think about the next year. Well, really, you should be thinking, because my type of mindset I'm 30 years old, basically. I'm thinking about when I'm 40. What I'm doing right now is planting the seeds for 40-year-old me. So I ain't got to do the same thing I'm doing now. I should be in a better position at 40. And that's relative to every level in my life. And see, we got the short-sighted mindset. So the community sometimes has a short-sighted mindset. We got to get into a long-term mindset. That's how corporations last. They just don't think about today or tomorrow. They thinking 200 years down the line. They want when this CEO passes away, like the Waltons, what I forgot what I think Sam Walton, when he passed away, that company is still going because because he was thinking just 5 years down the line while I'm still alive or whatever the case is. I'm thinking long term. And I think the biggest thing too is with that is people, like you said, they want things instant when they should. Anything good is planted over time. Anything that's quick is not necessarily anything that might be solid. You got to start thinking like the lottery. That's one of the biggest. You'll never beat the house. That's what I tell people. You'll never beat the house doing the lottery. You do the lottery, you should do it for fun. It should never. I'm trying to get rich. If you have to get rich from it, cool. But you should never be invested into something that is basically a scheme where you'll never beat the house. The house is to allow you to beat them. You'll end up paying more and never winning ever. But when the stock market, you go into ownership. The only time you lose money in owning assets is if you sell those assets or if the company goes bankrupt. That's the only way. You don't lose money just because, like you said, your portfolio went down 10% today or this week. You only lose money when you sell or if it goes bankrupt. And then to begin with, you would have seen that long ahead of time because you already know the company is not that stable and you should never invested them in the beginning,
Exactly. Yeah. And like you said, I want to touch back on something you talked about earlier when you talked about Dr. Boyce. And he is, like I said, he's been pivotal in teaching and talking about investing. I think he has a book of, invest $5 a day into the stock market. Right? And if you can, a lot of people are going to Starbucks and all these price of coffee. One price of coffee a day. Some people, probably drink multiple cups of coffee. That's $5 a day that you can start investing into the stock market. You can yield some real results in the long term when you could have just, hell, buy some stock in Starbucks. While you're at it, do something smart with your money and start to think long term instead of trying to flip money quickly. Or this is in Vegas. This is if you're like you said, it's not a situation where you're looking for this instant return. You have to think about longevity. I like to say, a lot of people want to plant a tree and swing from it. You can't do it.
Exactly.
You gotta everything that you're building and everything that you're setting and laying that foundation for is for future generations. So that's one of the things that we really need to talk about and understand in our community is that generational wealth starts with us.
It
It
does.
doesn't start before us. It starts with us. So now we're the one who have to plant the seed to that tree, and then we might not necessarily see all the benefits from it. Like you said, anything is quick is probably not good for you. It's like trying to eat an unripe fruit, right? It's like, hey, as soon as it came off as soon as you start seeing the sprout, you're like, hey, let me cook it off. Yeah, it's not going to be any good for you. You got to sit there and let it marinate, let it wait for a little while before you can start to pull that off the tree.
Exactly. Right. And that's the biggest thing, like you said, like people, they want to pull from the tree before everything ripens up and gets to that point. Like I said, we got to have the mindset to start thinking at least 5 to 10 years down the line.
Right.
When you think 5 to 10 years down the line, you're not worried about what goes on just today or tomorrow. You're thinking about the long-term you. And that's what a lot of wealthy people do, like, is they don't trade their time for money. They trade money for time. And when you do that and invest in the stock market or any market, real estate too, all that stuff, that's residual income. When you do all that, you're freeing up your time in the future.
Right.
So 5, 10 years down the line, you're not working as hard as you had to before.
Right.
You got your eggs in other baskets. And like you said, with down like Starbucks and stuff like that, like even down to like investing into like if you shop at the mall and stuff like that, you can invest into a real estate investment trust. Because a lot of people like, well, I want to invest in real estate and I can't. Just say, if you can't right now, go into the stock market has an opportunity for you to invest in real estate. You can invest in a real estate investment trust. Exactly. Simon Property Group. That's the biggest they own most of the malls in America. Mostly all the malls in any major city in America, they have they're owned by Simon Property Group. People might not even realize it. You can invest. I think Simon Property Group is under $100 a share. You can invest in them, who owns most of the malls in America, which we know they're in business. They're running. Not too many malls get shut down, and they provide you also a dividend for holding them as your real estate, as a real estate investment trust. So on top of you holding them as you owning them, you get also extra payout too, because you investing into Walmart. Because as people pay rent to Simon Property Group, you get a percentage of that too through the dividend. So that's another way to invest in stock market. I mean, invest into real estate through the stock market. The stock market has so many entry level points. If you care about marijuana so much, if you're big on marijuana, you can invest into marijuana stocks. They're very volatile right now because the Fed hasn't legalized everything yet. But I believe once the Fed legalizes everything within the next 2 to 5 years, it's going to be it's going to be major marijuana companies, because it's going to be recreationalized, and a lot of people are going to pour their money into, and then more investors are going to feel more confident about it and say, hey, I want to invest into this dispensary or this line of marijuana or this marijuana company, because I see the future of it, because the federal government is now on board in America. So that's my biggest thing. There's so many different investing opportunities for different things you care about. They're right in the stock market.
Right, exactly, and especially with a lot of different products or byproducts that's going to come from that, right? So you're going to have infused drinks and foods and edibles and hemp clothing and everything else that you could possibly think of. That's going to be a byproduct of these things that's going to be coming out. So that's the one thing about it. You have to kind of have some futuristic glasses or something, like kind of see into the future, see the things that's about to happen, and try to jump in early. It's all about entry points. Whether you're stock trading, forex trading, it's all about when you get in, right? Or even with crypto. Right now crypto is approaching 9,000 for Bitcoin right now. So I mean, when I sit here and try to tell people, it's like, hey, look, maybe you should get in. It's down to 3,500. Whatever. And then, and now it's almost about to triple your investment right now. When it went real low last year.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes, obviously, you can't always predict the future, but sometimes you can see patterns, right? And you can see the way things are going. And just like you said with the cannabis industry, these type of things, I think they even deemed the dispensaries an essential place, right? They didn't want to lose any of that money, right? So those type of things you need to start taking note of. You say, okay, well, if they deem this an essential place, maybe marijuana or cannabis is something that I should start either looking to buy into stocks or ETFs or all of that good stuff, or just put that on my radar to say, okay, maybe I should look at this for future investments.
Exactly, right. Because like I said, marijuana is, like you said, you got to put your glasses on. You got to put your futuristic glasses on it, because right now we know it's legalized in some states, but as a country as a whole, America is still, dragging their feet on that. But once they really be able to legalize it across the board, it's going to be plenty of marijuana companies that are going to pop. And I got my hands in Canopy Growth. I want to put people into perspective with this company. They're based in Canada. Their shares, I think they're under still, I think $20 a share right now.
Wow. That's not bad.
Yeah, they're real volatile right now because, like you said, every day it may be it's a seesaw going on with marijuana right now, because people want it to, like I said, they don't have that Fed backing right now. So a lot of people don't see it lucrative just yet.
Right.
But the thing is with that is Canopy Growth has a deal with actually Drake on the back end. A lot of people don't even know about it. They have a partnership going on because it's and then Drake has a partnership with them. I believe it's something where he's gonna come out with something related to cannabis with them. And what's gonna happen is once it's in America, and it's gonna mainstream Canopy Growth for the most part, because you got one of the biggest artists in America behind the brand. It can get stapled as far as across the U.S. border. So I'm looking at them for being like, I'm gonna say, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but almost like one of the, how the tech has big four,
right?
Microsoft, Google,
Yeah, Amazon, yeah, all the stuff.
Yeah, all that, the big four. I think Canopy Growth is going to be one of the big heavyweights in marijuana once it all moves forward because they have back end deals. I like their business model. That's why I'm investing in them. I like their business model. I believe in them. And I see that they're thinking ahead. And I also too see that they have the more profitable standpoint in marijuana because they're recreational. They're supposed to be doing, like you said, infused drinks, all that stuff like that.
Exactly.
Due to have some type of medical, medical backing too. So they do recreational and medical. So that's why I'm rolling with them.
Exactly. So I mean, that's a doozy right there. I mean, make sure y'all look into Canopy if you because you heard it here first.
And it's I was just gonna say the stock symbol is CGC if you're looking it up. Canopy Growth, CGC if you're looking up as a stock that you might be interested in if you want to add to your watch list.
Okay, yeah, and also I think another good one was Tilray. If you got in Tilray about a month ago, oh my, yeah, I think it dropped down
Tilray
like
is good
$2.
Yeah,
it dropped down like $2, and it kind of like it's already tripled back. I think it's back up to about 6 or something right now.
Yeah, Tilray is another good one too. They're another one too. I see, like you said, when things really take off for marijuana on a legal standpoint in America, I feel like they will be like a strong stock to hold. And if you want to sell some shares, you end up making profit from. I definitely see them too as a good investment for me in the marijuana sector for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So, like I said, there's so many things that's out there that people need to start. Like I said, putting on those futuristic glasses and start understanding exactly what to do, when to do it. Time. There's no time like the present. If this is something that you're interested in, if it's something that you want to start to get into because maybe it was a fear, or maybe it was a fear because you didn't know. We have a lot of those, those people in our community. It's like, look, because they've never heard of it, or they think that you have to be a millionaire to start investing in stocks. I mean, that's usually like the biggest one. It's like, man, because sometimes you get some people, and I know some people that's like, man, if you ain't got $10,000, man, don't even invest. I'm like, bruh, don't tell people that.
Don't tell people that. That's the wrong mindset because you can start small and end up growing. 10,000, and then you could use some of that 10,000 to go into other things, like you said, forex. With forex, very good. Another good market because one thing about forex is open way longer than the stock market. The stock market, Monday through Friday, except futures, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 9:30 to 4 o'clock Eastern time. Well, really, you got the forex market because you're dealing with global currencies. They're open most of the time. I think the forex is open about 6 days out of the week. About mostly all the
it's about 5/24.
Yeah, you can make money as soon as you get off your 9 to 5. You learn forex, you can make money in forex when you get off. Versus the stock market, it's not closed by the time you get off.
Exactly.
If you get off any time after 4 o'clock. So it's so many markets to plug your money in. Don't feel like you said, you shouldn't think this because you don't have $10,000 just to shell off that you shouldn't invest. You got to start with something to build something, because somewhere like I said, in order for these other people to pass down generational wealth, somebody had to start from scratch.
Right.
Somebody had to.
and one of the things that can allow you to build that money up a little quicker is making sure that you're invested in high yield dividend stocks. Right?
Yeah,
you get those type of dividend kickbacks if you plan it right, you can get some like every month, from different areas, right? So you're constantly getting money on top of the money that you've already invested.
Exactly. I'm helping. I'm actually creating. My wife, I'm actually creating, because my portfolio does one thing, but it does what it does as far as growth and dividends. I'm building her portfolio to be around dividends, like it's pumping out consistent dividends, like you said, because you don't even have to sell a stock. You can just eat off a dividend. If, like you said, if you build it up enough, it's like I said, real estate investments trust, they definitely have, like, they're one of the outside of just individual equity stocks, real estate investments trust, they definitely have like high yield. They have definitely high yield type of annual dividends that they give out to the shareholders. I think real estate investment trusts definitely have the high yield, and it's some stocks that do too, individual stocks, but definitely those real estate investment trusts. That's where you can really get like a really good dividend.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You know what? One of the things I tell people, especially about real estate, is they're not making any more earth, so you might as well invest in it, right? So might
Yeah,
as well get you a piece, whether you're investing in the real estate itself or investing in a REIT, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
because everybody's going to have a place, they're going to need a place to either stay, sell, do whatever, and
Right.
it's always going to be, somebody you got to find somewhere to sleep. So, investing in real estate is always going to be huge, either way you go.
Yeah, real estate, I think, is definitely that is like one of the key ways why people they build their wealth too. Is if you meet a millionaire, more than likely they have some real estate somewhere.
Right.
Something
Exactly.
in some type of capacity. It's real estate involved in somewhere that capacity.
Right.
They
Yeah.
have that there. Definitely real estate. Like I said, it's an entry point in the stock market for real estate. If you got to get your credit together before you can go in and buy an investment property, or you got to get your credit before you can actually own your own residential property.
Right.
Stock market has those opportunity points. You could be a real estate investor in the stock market too, because you own shares of a real estate investment trust, which yields out dividends. Who owns those commercial pieces of pieces of real estate, and also they own some of them own like apartment complexes and stuff like that. Different different property holdings. They own different apartment holding. They own different apartment complexes across America. So
Right.
it's so many ways to start investing, and you don't have to have, like you said, $10,000.
Yeah. It's
And
like sometimes when you're, just driving around or doing whatever, and you see, all these different realty companies, like CBRE, you see that everywhere, and you're
right,
understanding that this commercial property is pretty much in every town USA. So, some of the things that you need to start looking into, companies like that, that's going to be able to be, those REIT and reap the benefits from those REITs.
right. And another set of companies that produce that good dividend too is your essential companies, like your Procter and Gamble, your
Right.
Kimberly and Clark, your Pepsi, your Coke, your Costco, and I think Walmart has a decent dividend too.
Right.
Thing that usually these stocks are called value stocks because people put value on these stocks because whether things are up or down in the economy, people have to go to these places or use these companies. Kimberly and Clark, they deal with cottonelle tissue and all that stuff like that. And also Procter and Gamble, they also deal with, like, if you look on the back of your dishwashing liquid, if you have like Dawn, I believe, and also Gain. I mean, Dawn, I think Gain has dishwashing liquid too. You'll
Right.
see Procter and Gamble on the back. Procter and Gamble is a very good company because they yield dividends, and they've been around. Procter and Gamble, I think, been around since like the 1800s, and
Yeah.
Kimberly Clark too. So they yield dividends because they're about to hit their peak in growth as far as the stock, but they're going to give you that consistent dividend without even after selling them.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. P&G is definitely a great one. I have a couple people over in YouTube world that's asking about some of the real estate REITs, some of their handles,
Cool.
real estate companies.
They want to ask some questions about it.
Yeah, no, they were just interested in like some of the REITs that's out there that's available.
It's another one I can tell you right now. If you look it up, I think I own this one. I can tell y'all right now. Let's see. Because I own a REIT right now. I own a REIT ETF actually, and I could tell you all the REITs that's inside of this ETF,
Oh, okay. All right.
which is good, which is a good thing. All right. So this REIT is with Fidelity. It's at right now $22.93 a share. It's an ETF though. In this ETF, it holds these real estate investment companies: American Tower Corporation, Crown Castle Corporation, Digital Realty Trust Incorporated, Public Storage. If you know about them, hold like storage for people when they're about to move and stuff like that. Them.
Yeah.
Equity Residential, Well Tower Incorporated, Avalon Bay Communities. I think that might be like apartments and stuff like that or condos. So
Right.
this REIT is listed on the stock exchange as FREL, and it holds all these companies. They have a 4-star rating by Morningstar, which is a very good, reputable source.
Okay.
Oh, there's something you should hold, and they have a good, very good rating. So they're 4 stars, and it's a hold. And it's only right now because the stock market did its crash back in March. Is only at $22.93, and they have a decent dividend too. But you can look in that portfolio of the companies that I named in it, and if you want to individually invest into those companies, you can too still.
Right. And you said that was FREL?
Yep, FREL. That's a real estate investment ETF that I'm involved in that holds different real estate investment trusts.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely them. And like I said, Simon Property Group. That if you want to go into retail, that is dealing with the biggest. Like I said, they own most of the malls in America. So, and people, like I said, they're not really shutting down malls as far as malls don't really close down like that, especially with Simon Property Group. They've been in business for years. Yeah, FREL on the stock exchange. If you want to have a potential, you want to invest into real estate through the stock market. That's a very good. It's a very good. It's a very good real estate investment trust.
Okay. All right. That's a great tip. I'm gonna definitely look into that one. By the time I get off of here, I'll tell you that. All right. So hopefully everyone has got that.
Yes.
If not, they can catch the replay on here on YouTube. So, all right. So, all right. I have a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
So, what is the best way for someone to really get into stocks if they've never traded? I mean, I know that you have a lot of great services. Is it best to go with a coach first, or just kind of jump out there and get your feet wet, and just get baptized by fire type of thing?
Ooh. See, I got baptized by fire because I learned from my mistakes. So because I don't want people to have to go through the mistakes, you're gonna make mistakes in life anyway. But because to minimize your mistakes, let me say that much too, because you may still make some mistakes, but to minimize that, I'm gonna say don't invest blindly. Get with somebody like me, or if you have a family member in your family that is very good and been investing for a while, get them. If you know what I'm saying, get with them. But I'm gonna say go with somebody like me that's a stock market coach who's able to show you step by step how to invest, not just, hey, put your money here, put your money there. That's a financial advisor.
Right.
They're paid to do the work for you, as far as like just telling you things and you just giving your money. I want you to learn where your money is going, so you have no question. I want you to be able to see where your money where it's going and why it's going. I want you to be able to, when me and you are done coaching, you're able to educate. You're able to actually invest educated, not invest blindly. Because if you want a financial advisor, if you really don't want to learn the information, then get your financial advisor. But if you want to learn and you want to invest and make sure you minimize your risk, and you want to know what you're looking at when you open up your Robinhood account, or you open up your TD Ameritrade, or you open your E-Trade account, or even if you're doing fractional shares, you still want to know what you're looking at, how to do it. You want to get to a stock market coach. I say do not invest blindly. But if you want to kind of look around for now, you can still open an account, because most accounts don't have any entry to do it. Open an account and create a watch list. And then what I mean by that is create a watch list that is companies that you want to look at, that you potentially want to invest in. It's I'm going to say about 2 to 5 companies that you feel like, hey, when I'm ready to learn the information, and then I got this kind of, got ready to learn the information, I already know what kind of companies I want to invest in. And then by going through the coaching service with me, I'm going to be able to tell you and let you determine with the tools I give you to say, yeah, that truly is a good investment, or no, they're not a good investment like I thought it was. And you're going to look at other avenues. Right. But don't invest blindly. You should get with a stock market coach. But if you want to just look at things and still see how the stock market algorithms work, open up a Robinhood. It's free. Open up a TD Ameritrade or E-Trade. Create a watch list and start looking at different companies to see where they're priced at. And also, I tell people, they're like, well, how much money do I need to start? Well, how much money, whatever money you want to put on the table. Right. That's what you can put that is not going to hurt you. You can sleep at night. I help you to create a budget to invest consistently, because I invest consistently. I invest every month. I invest probably a minimum, probably almost $600 a month minimum that goes into my brokerage account. And sometimes it's more than that, just depending on what's going on, if I took care of everything. So I just say it's up to you. If you only got $50 to $100 to invest every month. That's still good.
Right.
And if you only can start out with $50, $100, you still can get you a company. And then from there, you just build up over time. Like you say, you don't have to feel like you got to do everything at once as far as like eating fruit off the tree. You build that, you plant the seeds for those years to come.
Exactly. And that's you made a great point. Definitely about the difference between a financial advisor. And I also give an example on you either give a man a fish dinner or you teach him how to fish, right? It's
Exactly.
totally different. It's totally
Exactly.
different because when you're learning a real skill, whether
Right.
it's trading or investing or something like that, anybody can tell you, hey, well, or give you signals if it's in forex.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna give you a signal. So put your money here, here, here. Okay,
Right.
you win. Well, you're not teaching me exactly what I'm doing, right? I need to
Exactly.
understand the ins and outs and stuff like that. So that's why it pays to get with a stock market coach like yourself to that
Mhm.
that actually teaches you the ins and outs and why something went high or why something went low or any of that type of thing. So I think that's the great thing about finding a coach
Mhm.
over necessarily a financial advisor that's just kind of like set it and forget it. Like, hey, here's $5,000. You figure it out. I don't want
Right.
to think about it. I don't want to. I just want to sit back and collect my ROI. But
Right.
at the same time, if you want something that's going to last, you definitely want to be able to understand the ins and outs of any business venture, any investment, anything that you're doing. You want to learn the ins and outs, kind of learn the fundamentals first before you go on and jump 2 feet forward. So
Exactly. Because my biggest thing is empowering you as my client. I don't want you to, like you said, a financial advisor, like you said, you give them your money and they take it and run with it. And they're not saying that financial advisors are good people. Now I'm not, disregarding them, but you still might not know what you're looking at when you pull up your information. I'm
right,
teaching you along how to invest and I'm teaching you how to invest and what to do moving forward. So you are able to you're able to make educated investments without me. You don't have to call me up and say, or if you still need me as a resource, there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't have to, like you said, with a financial advisor, let's say that financial advisor is not available anymore.
right,
You now you're stuck with your portfolio by yourself. And you like, before I get another financial advisor, let me just log in and see. You won't even know what you look. It's like Chinese to you.
yeah,
You learn
exactly,
how to still be able, when you pull up your, like you said, your brokerage account and your phone, you know what you're looking at. You see, oh yeah, I gained this, or I lost this today, or over this last year, this is my return. Over these last 5 years, this is my return. So, or these last 6 months, this is my return. So I say, you want to, I'm empowering you so you can empower yourself,
right,
also empower others around you, because wealth is just not the stocks and stuff like that. Wealth is the knowledge base too.
exactly,
That's the biggest thing. I'm empowering you to have that knowledge because, like you said, some people, they hoard that information. They
right.
don't know how to get started and really what to do. Once, like you said, they get in and start working for them, they don't pay it forward.
Right, and it seems like some people think that it's taking money out of their pocket. It has nothing to do with you. It's like,
Right.
but you can still be able to share that knowledge and help somebody else, and just to understand exactly what's going on. And so
Exactly.
I want to put your link up here.
Cool.
I know that you have a link tree, so make sure if you are on Periscope or on YouTube, you can screenshot that link tree / Lewis Premier Stocks. I know she has a lot of courses and a lot of great deals on there, bundle deals, and a few different things that you can go and check out on that link tree account.
Yeah.
All right,
My
so
biggest thing.
hopefully
Like, I appreciate
everyone
you
has.
allowing me to be on your platform too, because that's the biggest thing. Like you said, collabing with each other too. That's your network. Your net worth is your network too.
Exactly,
To
exactly,
surround yourself around. You got to surround yourself around people to have these. You got to surround these to be able to get into these things. You got to surround yourself around people that's talking about it and that inspire you to do that. To be a business owner or to own stocks or end up going into forex, cryptocurrency. Like I said, there's so many markets to get into, but a stock market is definitely one of the lowest entry points. I know forex is too, for the most part too. Forex is a low entry point too, and you can go in and trade different currencies, and you just open your mind up, and you got a skill that nobody can fire you from.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
You got a skill that no one
that
can
is
buy.
the
No
best
one
one
can
right
fire you.
there.
Yeah, no one can fire you from doing forex. You control that.
Exactly. Hey, that's I'm telling you, learning to invest, being able to create your own hours, create your own
Mhm.
your own trading schemes and everything else. It's more
Mhm.
empowering to yourself and to your offspring or whoever that you decide to pass this on to.
Right,
Like I said, there's companies and families that's doing this every day. And
right,
there's a lot of us that are either afraid to, or maybe just like the ignorant factor is just like we don't know what we don't know. So fear keeps us from investing. So I
right.
think you know as we come on platforms like this and we meet talented people like yourself that's going to be able to coach and teach all these different investing methods and all these different ways that we can actually build a community amongst ourselves to say, hey, now we know exactly what we're doing. Now we know how we can create these different avenue streams that we
Exactly.
can use for future investments.
Right.
So I know we had your IG up there. Is there any other way that we can contact you, or is it IG the best way that we can contact
IG and on Facebook too. I have it's the same handle, Lewis Premier Stocks. But if you're not on social media, you can also reach me at my email address. It is Lewis Premier Investments all together as one word at gmail.com. So that is
you?
L.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, no, I'm
You
gonna
gonna
see.
put it up there for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get my typing skills.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, when he puts that up there, you can also, if you're not on social media, because I know everybody doesn't necessarily do certain social medias, you can reach me by email. You could just shoot me an email and just, ask me more about myself or the services I have, or if you want to even just ask me a couple questions about stocks that you're kind of unsure with. I'm open-minded. If you want to get more deeper into a questionnaire, I have a consultation also too with my link tree. You just I'll send you the link. You can set up a consultation with me and we can talk in depth about the stock market and also budgeting, because that's how I learned how to invest consistently, is creating a budget. You have
Right.
to create a budget to do anything. You can't just, like I said, throw your money out there too, because you might like, oh crap, I need to take care of this. And you put all your money into the brokerage account. No, you need to set a set budget that does not get in the way of your normal bills and everything like that.
Exactly, and that is a key point to tell
Yeah,
everybody out here. Do not invest more than you're willing to lose, or
exactly.
that you're able to, still function with. You're like, hey, I put in $200, now I can't pay rent. That was,
No,
you make sure you take care of what you need to take care of first, and then
right,
from there you're able to start making making sound business decisions and investments for the future. So.
right. And I want to definitely too, like, be that person that you can go to for the simple way of things. Meaning like a stock market information or any market is sometimes it's intimidating, the information. That's why you have a stock market coach like myself who's there to break it down and simplify it for you. Don't make I break those chains of, like you said, the fear chain and the fear of, dang, this information is intimidating. That's the point of somebody like me, to break it down, to release, make you think it's not intimidating. It's actually very empowering once you learn the information. And I got it in a very simple way that you don't feel like it's easy to follow. It's not where you get bored and you thought off track. You know what I'm saying? And you
Exactly. No, yeah, I
can't
get it.
focus on it. I'm gonna have you intrigued to be focused on it, but at the same time, you're getting education at the same time, at the same point of it.
Yeah, that's the best way. As long as you can keep some because a lot of people have attention problems, right? They don't sit
Right,
there and be
right,
like,
right.
and you give them something like this thick, whatever, and like, well, I'm not reading that,
Exactly.
I'm not gonna figure it out. So they just,
Right,
and then they'll lose interest because it's probably too complicated or something like that. So it's always best to kind of bring it down a level or something like that. Whereas not,
mhm,
I know jargony is not a word, but I'm gonna keep using it. And so it
right.
doesn't,
That's fine.
I'll be making up
Yeah,
words all the time. But yeah, so it's not too jargony and like, okay, look, and very intimidating. So
right.
I think that's all I have for you. This was a great interview. I appreciate you for being on here. Um, just I made sure that I put all of your information out there. It's I appreciate you for being on Get Wealthy Wednesday, and taking time out of your schedule and teach us about stocks. And hopefully, if you are looking for to learn more about stocks, reach out to Darien. Put all the info up there. If you're watching on Periscope, make sure that you go and check the replay if you missed it, or if you're on YouTube, go and check it is there as well. So we thank you all for being with us this evening. Join us next week for another episode of Get Wealthy Wednesday, when we speak with Tavania Evans about cryptocurrency and all the efforts that she's doing in the Black community. Y'all have a great day, and be sure to follow me on Instagram. Let me put this up here for you. If you are not following me right now, make sure that you follow IMF Brandon on IG. New.network is a new social media, YouTube and Twitter. So make sure you follow me on all these platforms. And it's like I said, I'm just so excited for everyone to be here, and I will see you all next week.
And thank you again, Brandon, for allowing me to be on your platform and collaborating with me. This was awesome. And I love collaborating with like-minded individuals like yourself and bringing, like you said, awareness to the community. So I definitely appreciate you allowing me to be on your platform as well this evening.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my pleasure. Y'all have a great day, and we will talk to you soon, and I'll see you on IG.
See you all later. Bye.
See you.
Thank you, Brandon.